y'all, this is Skylar with Dancing Ridge Farm, and today we're going to can some chicken. I know you can see back there, we just got our first round of meat chickens in that we'll harvest at the end of April. We keep them inside, the kids. We keep them inside for the first couple of days just to get them acclimated, and then we move them out to the brooder. But these chickens, these are the ones that I'm canning today. They came from, and you could probably see in a couple of videos back, I'll try to link it. The last round of meat chickens that we did, we also processed a whole lot of roosters. I hatched a lot of chicks last spring, and wouldn't you know, probably 70% of them ended up being roosters. So that was fun. But that's okay, we processed all of them, and I'm going to put them in the crock pot and cook them, and then I'll shred them and can them in my pressure canner. So these are the chickens. I've already done 2 yesterday. I'm gonna try to fit these 3 in today. They're pretty small. They were pretty young roosters, maybe 5 months old. That one's kind of big. We're gonna see if we can get all of these to fit in the crock pot. So I'm putting about 2 quarts of water in, just to get a couple inches on the bottom. And that's just because this will make a broth. And then when I'm canning the chicken, I can use this broth to fill the jars up once I've filled them up with meat. So I have an Instant Pot, put the lid on, close it, make sure this is on sealed back there and not venting, otherwise your pressure is just going to come out, your air. And then I press poultry. We're going to let it go. So I don't really prefer one method over the other as far as the crock pot and the Instant Pot. Obviously the Instant Pot is faster, but it can only fit 1 chicken. This is a 6 quart, well if I can find it, this is a 6 quart Instant Pot. This is a 10 quart crock pot. So the Instant Pot is done. It's been on low for an hour. The pressure's already been released. You can see the little pressure gauge is already down. It just did it naturally, but if you want to do it quicker, you can always turn it to venting to make it go a little quicker. So why are we canning chicken? Number 1 reason is freezer space. So in the next 2 months, we'll have another set of our meat chickens that we will be processing for us and our customers, and we need that space in the freezer to hold them until they're able to pick them up, and just for our own supply of chicken. And then we'll have our pork right after that, so we really need the freezer space. And granted, these are taking up like maybe 1 shelf, but that is 1 shelf that holds a lot of meat. So freezer space, and then just convenience food. That's what canning is, convenience food. Whenever it is in the middle of summer and I need to come inside and cook a quick dinner and then go back out and cut flowers, it is very convenient to throw in canned chicken and some pasta and sauce and some canned veggies on the side, and dinner's done. And you've already done the hard work, and it's still a really good, from scratch, nutritious meal. So that is another reason. And using what we have. So all that to say is canning chicken is definitely a good idea for all of the reasons I've already mentioned. And just, it's something that we grew ourselves, and we can be proud of that. And something that we can be proud to put on our table to eat. And something we can put on our shelf and be proud of that we did it. And good morning, it is the next day. I have everything out, ready to go. I got my broth out. It was nice and gelatinous. Is that the right word? So it looked really good. I put it in a pot to warm up on the stove, just so it could be easier to pour into the jars and just be a little bit warmer and warm up the meat and the jar at the same time. I got my jars ready. I've got my lids and rings. I put them in some hot water in the pitcher that I have, and I also went ahead and started putting my hot water into the canner, and then we'll start warming it up. And that way, whenever you're filling up your jars and you're putting them directly in that water, it doesn't go from hot to cold. That is how you're gonna get most of your jar breaks or jars, explode in the canner. People are afraid of that. And a lot of time it's just from going from really hot to really cold. So if you go ahead and have everything warm, you don't have to worry about that. And I usually am gradually warming up the canner and the jars so that I don't have to worry about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and start loading the chicken into my clean jars. And I have 4-quart jars. I think that will work. We'll see once I get to filling them up, but I think that I probably won't fill all of them quite all the way. And I'll just put the broth over the top. And then I will wipe the rim of the jars just to make sure there's not any residual fat or juices, to make sure it can get a really good seal. That's really important when you're canning. And then I'll put those warm lids and rings on, and I don't tighten the rings all the way. You want to tighten it just till it stops moving. So don't bear down on it, just tighten it till it doesn't want to go anymore easily, and that is good enough, because that's another way you can break jars, is bearing down and really tightening that ring on, and it will cause a mess. So I'm using an All-American canner. A lot of people will use a Presto. It really doesn't matter. It matters that it's a pressure canner and not a water canner like you would use for fruits. So what matters is that you are using the instructions that go with the canner that you're using. Mine says to do 10 pounds of pressure and 90 minutes for quarts. So that's the directions that I'm following, along with all the things to get ready and to prepare your canner for canning. It's in your instructional. So I would definitely go by that. Don't look up anything else. Do what your instructions say, because all canners can be a little bit different and might need a little different things. So it's really, really important to use the instructions that come with your canner and follow those. So the canner is done. I took them out. It fit, that amount of chicken fit 4 quarts almost perfectly. That was 3.5 pound average chickens, 5-month-old roosters. So made 4 quarts. So I'll say that 4 meals is gonna be worth it. And they're almost cool. They're still a little bit warm. But one thing, after you're done canning, you see this ring, you can take that ring off. So the ring's purpose is to keep this lid in place whenever it's being sealed in the canner. So sometimes if you leave it on, any kind of residue, syrup, whatever you're making can keep this from turning, and it's a pain to get off. So whenever you're done canning, go ahead and take it off, and it will save you later in case it wants to get stubborn and not want to come off. So anyways, if you see jars in people's pantries and they don't have a lid on, that is why. You don't need them after you're done canning. So anyways, that was a success. I just went ahead and got out more chicken to keep doing it, and I hope that this gave you the confidence to be able to do this. You can do this with store-bought chicken. You can do this with layers that you're culling out from your flock. You can do this with meat chickens that you raise. It is all about you doing this yourself and being able to put your own meat away for your family. And it is so easy, and if I can do it, you can do it. And I hope that you like this video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time.